probably can.
All right, call the meeting order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, so can I have a roll call, please?
Okay, Brian.
Here.
Lexi. Here. Justin.
Here.
John. Here. Jeff.
Here. Thank you. The motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Brian, aye.
Lexi, aye.
Justin, aye.
John, aye.
Jeff, aye.
Motion carries. This time I'll open the floor to citizen comment for anything that is listed on the agenda for this evening. If anyone would like to address the council. Maybe online?
Nope.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and close citizen comment at this time. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I just have one question.
Yes.
Chief, do we have any issues with either one of these with the liquor license?
No.
I'll second.
Brian, aye.
Lexi, aye.
Justin, aye.
John, aye.
Jeff, aye. Carries. Committee reports, HR committee, I don't know that there's anything new. Jeff, Brian,
Not since the employee handbook.
move on from that. This time, I have a proclamation for National Sea Tracks Think Train Week, which is this week. There we go, thanks. So National Sea Tracks Think Train Week, whereas Sea Tracks Think Train Week is to be held across the US from September 23rd to the 20th. Whereas 2,192 rail grade crossing collisions resulted in 765 personal injuries and were responsible for 248 fatalities in the United States during 2023. And whereas 1,378 pedestrian trespassing casualties have occurred in the United States, resulting in 663 pedestrians being killed and another 715 injured while trespassing on railroad property rights of way during 2023. And whereas educating and informing the public about rail safety, reminding the public that railroad right-of-ways are private property, enhancing public awareness of the dangers associated with highway rail grade crossings, ensuring pedestrians and motorists are looking and listening while near railways and obeying established traffic laws will reduce the number of avoidable fatalities and injuries caused by incidents involving trains and citizens. And whereas the International Association of Chiefs of Police, National Operation Lifesaver Inc., United States Department of Transportation, and all local, state, county, and railroad law enforcement officers, first responders, and railroad corporations commit to partnering together in an effort to educate at a national level all aspects of railroad safety to enforce applicable laws in support of National Sea Tracks Think Train Week. Therefore, I, Russell Fobb, Mayor of Peosta, do hereby attest my full support for claiming September 23rd to the 29th, 2024 National Sea Tracks Think Train Week, and I encourage all citizens to recognize the importance of rail safety education. Next up, we have resolution establishing a sidewalk maintenance and Karen Lyons in the city of Peosta.
If anybody has any questions on this, it was just basically working with them on the distance from the road to curb. We tried to keep that 5-foot distance, and with the utilities being laid out the way they were, it just wasn't feasible. So this is why we had to go in to this agreement.
So in reading this, we're basically saying that we're gonna do our darndest not to push snow onto the sidewalk, and that we're gonna remove the pile that's between the sidewalk and the street.
As soon as possible.
And if we were to push snow onto the sidewalk, then what happens?
We clean it when we can get to it. He understands that. He knows that because if we end up getting a 12-inch snow, or we go by there and we're plowing 2 or 3 times and throwing snow over there, we're not gonna have the manpower to have somebody stop and go clean that sidewalk.
So we're gonna be actually cleaning the sidewalk?
We're gonna be helping with it. So we're not gonna have our guys out there. It's just, they have to understand we're gonna do our best to not push the snow onto that section right there as you're turning off, going north.
Right, I know what we're
Street.
talking about there, I just,
Yeah.
I'm
I want to make
concerned
sure,
about the
are
precedent we're
we,
setting.
do we own the property now? That
We do.
section,
Mhm.
so it's city property,
Correct,
that they deeded over to us
right,
by warranty.
right,
deed,
but
and
it's
then
their responsibility to clear the
Their
sidewalk.
responsibility to clean it, but
Right,
we're gonna
and
do
their
our best
biggest
to try
pet
to
peeve was the
minimize.
snow that's gonna be pushed over there because we couldn't maintain that 5-foot distance.
Yeah, it's forward.
Even at 5 foot or 4, it's still gonna hit it. At the rate of speed those guys come around the corner and push the snow, it's
Right.
gonna hit that sidewalk.
So sometimes we'll remove it on our own,
Get
when it
to it when we
piles up.
can, right. The main priority is to keep
Yeah, I
the
still
roads
want
clear.
to set the precedent.
And by ordinance, we have 24 hours to clean the sidewalks. So again, we'll do our best.
Are you worried about, we're setting a precedent?
That's my concern.
I heard you say that, so let's get it on the table.
Yes and no.
Okay.
But Dean and Doug and I, we did our best with them to try to make sure that we covered ourselves. And it's just one of those unique situations where you're there on a corner, you've got a sidewalk, you can't move, the utilities. It just wouldn't have been feasible enough to do that.
Yep.
But we did make sure that it was not transferable. So when they do sell that property, we don't have to take care of it anymore in essence. So I think that was a win on our behalf.
This was agreed upon when we did the easement purchase.
Yes.
I remember that. Okay, so if that property changes hands, then it's homeowner responsibility.
Correct. Mhm.
Just like everywhere else in the city.
Right.
Is it when they are no longer the owners, like even if the estate still owns it, or?
I don't know if Doug put that in there, but it's,
I think it's when the state, like after they're no longer passes on through the state, it's.
okay.
It's between Frank and Karen.
Yep.
Other questions? All right, I'll need a motion to approve at this point.
I'll make a motion to approve the sidewalk maintenance agreement with Lions in the city of Peosta.
I'll second. Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, no.
Jeff, aye. Motion carries. Resolution approving pay estimate number 1 submitted by Chick Fry Excavating for the Cox Springs Multi-Use Trail Project. And Dean has looked this over and has given his approval.
That is correct. Mhm.
I'll make a motion to approve pay app number 1.
I'll second. Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John,
Jeff, aye. Motion carries. Next up, resolution approving an agreement.
Sweet.
Yeah.
make sure we silence our phones.
Yeah.
Everybody pause. take a
Now we
breath.
know what music the mayor likes.
Yeah. What, I think the phone came with that on it, so I can't reprogram it. Resolution approving an agreement for leasing assignment or sale of existing dark fiber located in the city of Peosta right away by company.
IPL has extra strands of fiber that they want to lease or sell, and they just need our permission as a municipality to do so. It's good for development.
So when they put it in, I mean, they own it.
Yes,
We gave them permission in our right of ways.
right.
And they just have extra strands that they're not going to use for their business.
They tend to put extra strands in there
Okay.
for this very reason.
But they don't need them for their business, and so they're wanting to see if they can lease them to other people that could potentially.
Correct.
use them.
Would there be any more excavating?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Right.
And we get to approve when we get to approve their lease agreements. Didn't it say something in there about,
Don't believe it does. I mean, we may be able to see them, but they're kind of like the railroad. Once they make a decision, it's pretty much final.
I gotta see what I was reading.
I thought so too.
Should any entity like ISP want to use those strands or conduit to serve or improve service to your town, they would still need to get required approvals from the council. What kinds of things would fall into that?
That's the letter from the League of Cities.
Yeah.
Right, and I think it's basically just letting us know who's gonna be the operator or the owner of those,
Says that needs approval by the city.
So you still have to enter into a franchise agreement for any new company coming in that wanted to use it.
which we have one with them right now, so we would be getting
Someone
fees from
else's.
them.
So,
Yeah.
if an additional company came in, at least they're.
Okay. It's their property, it's just in our right of way.
Correct.
Yeah, they can lease their property. I have no problem with
Questions? Looking for a motion to approve.
that. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution or an agreement for the leasing, assignment, or sale of existing dark fiber located in the city of Peosta right away by IPL.
One second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Jeff, I.
Motion carries. Resolution setting the public hearing for Thunder Hills Road speed zone change from 50 miles an hour to 35 miles an hour. For the public hearing to be set on October 8th.
I'll make the recommendation to set the public hearing for the speed zone change from 50 miles an hour to 35 on Thunder Hills Road for October 8th of 2024.
One second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Jeff, I.
Motion carries. Next up, public hearing ordinance amending Title 9, Chapter 114, peddlers, solicitors, transient merchants. And this is, we'll open this for a public hearing at this time on this topic. If anyone here would like to address the council regarding this topic. Anyone online?
No.
Now would be a good time for your music.
Yes.
Jeopardy music.
Brenda's friends, I think.
Yeah, Brenda's looking for more pens. Make sure you bring 4 or 5 home. We'll close the public hearing at this time. Next up is ordinance amending Title 9, Chapter 114, peddlers, solicitors, and transient merchants. First reading.
I have a couple of questions for
Yeah.
clarification from city staff. So we've got, there's a permit fee, which is, you're doing what we asked. It's structured pretty high. Is that a one-time payment and then the license fees for set periods of time are in addition to
Yes,
that?
that is correct.
So how long is the permit good for? Because some of the license things are 60 days or a year, 60. Is it forever?
Well, the application fee is only as good as the length of time that you're
Okay.
buying the
Okay,
length
so if
of
you
time
buy a
for.
60-day license,
Right.
it's
only
another
good.
application fee the next time.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. And then I just noted something that we might want to edit in the license exemptions. It's toward the end, it's 114.12 license exemptions. Just a question, number 4, students representing the community school district conducting projects. Do we want to say parochial and public school districts serving the community?
That's totally up to you. If
Well,
that's what you
I'd
choose
like
to do so.
I mean, I'm just thinking, we don't have a district. We have a couple of school districts in our community. I think we'd want to extend the same, wouldn't we?
Just so it covers everyone.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, when I read that, I think of the community,
Think of
just
community.
I think of the community of all of them.
Yeah.
I thought it was
But it
more
says it's
encompassing.
a community school district, so
It does.
I just want to make sure like we're including all the schools that,
Yeah, what obviously wanted to include it.
Can we just
Right.
add, we're representing all the community?
all community school districts. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
So we'll bring this back on the 8th.
Can we
Approve.
approve?
You can
with-
approve it
with the
contingent on with the amendment to it, and then we can bring it back to the second reading on the 8th.
I will make a motion to approve ordinance title chapter 14. I'm sorry, I was reading something else.
Let me play my music for you.
To approve the ordinance amending Title 9, Chapter 114, peddler solicitors. It's first reading pending the changes that we just discussed.
Well, second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
John, I.
Jeff, I.
Motion carries. This time we will open up public hearing to take public comment on rezone request of parcels 14114000004, 14114000005 from A1 to C2.
This is property that is due east of Jim Conlon's land. We'll just call it that. It's easier to do it that way.
Due west of Cottingham. That's adjacent.
Latitude.
241, whatever it takes. So we'll open up for public comment. Anyone wanted to address the council at this time on this matter? Yes, sir. Name and address.
Joe Canavo, address is 10255 Cottingham Road.
Okay.
And the letter we received said it was going to be rezoned R1, but this says C2. So I'm just a little confused.
It is going to be zone C2, commercial 2.
And do we have any idea what the plans are for that?
We have a zoning C2 established and we have permissible eligible uses out there. So I'd be more than happy to share that with you. At this point, we do have a basic understanding, but we will be going into a NDR with the developer, meaning we can't discuss it. But we will certainly make sure that it's not something that's going to be non-desirable for the area.
And it will fit within our C2 zoning regulation.
Absolutely.
If you want to see me afterwards, I can get your information and we can send you the information on what can go into that classification. Or it's on, I think it's on our website. too.
It's on the
We can get-
website.
Yeah, we can get that. I can help.
Was that our letter or is that sent out by the county?
That's our letter, within 200 feet of
And what is it?
property.
So what did you say the letter said?
R1.
It was going to be,
It was,
It was for going from A1 to R1, which is residential 1.
do you have the letter? I see it.
C2.
No, it will not be residential.
Huh?
I know on the paper it said C2, so I was a
Okay,
little
yeah.
confused between the letter and the paper.
No, so don't be confused. This is wrong, the paper's right.
okay, so we'll have to send those letters out to everybody now.
I can, and we can just hold up on the public hearing. Okay,
I don't want to get ourselves in
That's a
trouble.
big deal. Yeah.
okay.
Your address on Cottingham, do you
Well,
want just
we're holding the
just
public
north of
hearing
the
right now.
property?
Yeah, so we are,
You're the-
where all the trees lead to.
Okay.
Can we redo that on October 8th?
No, we're holding the public hearing now, so we're good for that. So thank you for bringing that up. But yeah. this is
What's the
on
question?
tomorrow.
We have to hold another public hearing? since the
No, we
letter-
just held the public hearing. If
Still
you'd
in.
like though, we can go ahead and
We haven't closed it.
reschedule another one. Pardon me?
And so we haven't closed it yet, so.
Right.
Well, I'm just saying that, I mean,
Do we want,
We-
if we're gonna resend the letter, do
I think you need
do we
to.
suspend the public hearing and then reopen it?
Yeah, that we can, yes.
Can we do October 8th as well?
We're gonna have to establish it October 8th to
To do it on the next
set
meeting
the
in
20, for
October.
the 22nd.
Are we in any timeline considerations? with the
Jason, are
developers
we?
in Query?
I mean, obviously, we'd like to move through the process. I mean, part of what the developer is having discussions with potential end users is kind of contingent upon knowing what the zoning is gonna be. Sure. It's kind of a chicken and an egg scenario, right, that we have going on. I know that we are, trying to meet with VNCLC to kind of come up with a comprehensive, how we're gonna connect the frontage road from Lost Canyon over to Thunder Hills, kind of work on some infrastructure stuff. I think that's gonna be happening here in the next couple of weeks. I mean, the process is the process. I mean, we'd like to obviously move forward with it sooner, but understand that we need to make sure that there's clarity and there's no confusion among.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
We want to do it right.
Okay, then we'll come back on the 8th and we'll
And set the
reset that for
hearing.
the 22nd.
Okay, great.
thank you.
Well, we have to.
Close the public hearing for
Right.
now? Did anyone else have any other discussion in that?
Larry Conrad, 10699 Fairway View, which is off of Thunder Hills Road. My concern, reading in the paper about the change from 50 to 35, I didn't know from coming out of Thunder Hills Golf Course, Birds Acres, Thunder Ridge, if that's still gonna stay at 35 or is that gonna be dropped to 15? Is there any discussion about that?
That county road at that point at Juliana, when it goes past there, when it heads to the north, that is county road.
Okay,
We're actually responsible for the west side of Thunder Hills and the east side is county road. So that's what
okay.
yeah, so they'll be changing their ordinance as well to match the 35 from the highway up to, I don't know, you would have to approach the county about if they're looking at lowering that any further.
Correct, that would be the county engineer.
Yeah.
And I have spoke with the sheriff, he was good with the change that we're
Okay.
making the progress on that.
Yep. So,
Cause we built our house there in 92. That's 32 years ago. At that time, there was 10 houses in Birch, there was Thunder Hills.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a racetrack, you know, from 4 o'clock to 6:30 in the morning, from 7:30 to 8:30. Is the city police
Yeah,
there?
so, unfortunately, your area is county through that area.
Okay.
We do go out there from Juliana to the south to Highway 20. We make sure we check speeds on that road, that portion of it there. Part of that is city, the other portion is county, but we still have the rights to go on that portion. But anything north of Juliana into your area, Fairview, that is all county up there at this
Okay.
point.
And I think you'll see if they're coming off the highway, they gotta be doing 35 or close there, you know,
Yeah.
they're not gonna pick up, you know, it's gonna slow everybody down from the beginning.
Yeah, this should help your area, and that's what,
Yeah.
that
That's the
got
goal.
brought to me too, that's what made this change also occur, besides the county engineer coming to us saying they wanted to make that change also.
Where can I get your last name again?
CONRAD.
Okay, I didn't catch it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you bet. All right, we're gonna go ahead and close the public hearing at this time. And then the next item, we will not take any action on
Correct.
this evening, as we are moving the public hearing up to another public hearing. And that brings to a close the administration side. At this time, I'll open it back up to citizen comment as we're ready to go into closed session. If anyone wants to address the council about anything else. Anybody online, Marcy?
No.
Okay, we'll close the citizen comment there, and then I need a motion to go into closed session and get to ask everyone else to leave. People who need to stay here know who they are. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll call you tomorrow.
Kicking me out too, so. Yeah, that's fine.
It'll probably be a little bit after lunch, but I'll call you.
Okay, yep.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session to discuss performance evaluation in accordance with chapter 21.5 State Code of Iowa, et cetera. Do I have to read all that into the record?
you're good.
Okay, there we go. Everybody can
It's
read.
not true.
I will second.
Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
Jeff, I.
Do you want me to?
Motion carries.
Do you want me to pause it or just?
Just pause it.
Okay. So.
If you want me to close this door, then.
I'll be right out there as well.
Need to make a motion to adjourn.
And motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. Brian, I.
Lexi, I.
Justin, I.
Jeff, I. Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Somebody-